we're all ready then, welcome everyone, and I'll call this meeting to order. It is 11:04, is that right? Okay. So, beginning with confirmation of quorum and roll call.
President Jan Winning.
Present.
First Vice President Keisha Prince.
Present.
Second Vice President Ashley Huddleston.
Present.
She is online. Let's say it again,
Can you
please.
hear me?
Second Vice President.
She's muted. Let's just make
Hello.
sure.
Yeah, Kevin was.
Can he chat with her?
Kevin, is she still muted?
Hello.
We're getting there.
She said she was present.
Okay.
Okay.
Yay.
Director Julio Gonzalez Altamirano.
Present.
And Director Delete Becker.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. And moving on to item 2 for public forum and citizen communication. Do we have anybody signed in today?
As I am not aware of no one.
None, no early signups. Can we check with online folks?
Yes, of course. Is it possible
Kevin?
to check with Kevin?
Is there anyone that wants to? Are they? Kevin said no one has said anything.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Okay, so hearing that there's no public comment today, we'll move to item 3, the director's report. Director Gray, would you like to tell us what's going on?
Thank you. Welcome, President Wedding and directors. So we will run through a few high points on the director's report. If we can advance the slides, please. So as you may recall, with moving our board meetings slightly earlier in the month, we will now lag 1 month for our financial reports. So we are this month reporting on month-end January financial status. We did have a very positive month with a receipt of almost $800,000. That's 20% of our annual budget in the first month of the year, and that is due to some continued distributions from the Forest Park transaction. And our expenditures are under budget. That is largely because we had not yet fully staffed up, and of course we do have something of a distortion of the RTIP program in our annual budget, which is something we'll talk about or is on the agenda in another item today. Our total net
Excuse me, I'm
assets.
sorry to interrupt you, but for those of us facing this way, this screen is not operating.
I
Okay.
believe that is related to an electrical issue that we are
Okay.
having.
All right.
Not something that I believe we can fix at
No
this
problem.
time.
I thought I'd
Yes.
ask.
Yes.
Okay.
So our total net assets at the end of the month were about 17.6 million. Any questions on finances? All right, excellent.
Would it be helpful to just flatten the screen because it's a little bit more visible? Are you able to see it clearly or?
I can see you.
Yes, perhaps reorient it. Thank you.
There you go. Sorry, gallery. The gallery will be left in the dust this time.
Maybe
Yeah, let's just watch
Yes.
the camera
We
here.
just want to make sure it's not blocking the camera, so if we scoot it like.
Oh, there you go. You're clear.
Alright.
Excellent.
There's another camera.
All right, next slide, please.
I appreciate that. Go on.
So I think somewhat as anticipated, we have continued to experience a challenge in occupancy across our portfolio. You'll note that we do have one property that is not reporting in last month. That is one of the Rise properties. But in any case, we do have 2 new properties that for the first time dipped below 80%. So, this is the challenge in the marketplace at large right now, but certainly something that our new portfolio manager, Shelley Lenz, is building relationships with on-site property management to better understand what is happening and see if there's a way we can support. Next slide. Next slide. There you go. Thank you. As always, we want to give an overview of upcoming calendar items. Our regular board meetings are second Thursdays at 11 a.m. Today, after the meeting, we have scheduled for the board some communications training. We will separate you so as to not create quorum at that event, but it's something that had been requested from board members, just how to talk about strategic in sort of general ways and around any particular topics that may be challenging. We also, as we forecast last month and sent an email earlier this week, have confirmed our date for our semi-annual briefing at Travis County Commissioners Court, which will be March 27th. The court starts promptly at 1:30. We are asking folks to arrive by 1 o'clock, just so we can all get settled, etc. And really looking forward to that. Expect that once it starts, probably won't be more than an hour or so. We are currently first on the agenda. We are also not in control of that, so it is plausible that we would be moved later. Next month, I do want, it's not finalized yet, but do want you to know that we are looking at the potential of scheduling site visits for the afternoons after the board meetings. Which would mean that if you wanted to stay and come with staff to do site visits, you are absolutely welcome to do so. Another thing that we have communicated about that we're really excited about is the Housing Works Austin Summit occurring Friday, April 11th. This is a one-day summit. We are a sponsor of the event, and it's really a very nice general day on affordable housing topics, focused on local issues, but they bring in national speakers and a good opportunity to meet folks across the spectrum, advocates, developers, policymakers, etc.
And let me add that one of our appointers, Judge Brown, will be doing a keynote at the end of that, and our Mayor Watson, will be opening the event. So it's a good chance to also meet with local electeds and to make our presence known. So really encourage people to make it if they can.
So as a reminder, our executive coordinator, Debbie Honeycutt, will be handling registrations for board members. We're asking, if at all possible, to let her know by Monday, because that's when early bird registration closes. And I hope for their sake it sells out. It may not, but it assures us that we get in. Finally, wanted to signal for you that we have tentatively set a date for April 24th for some board training. This would encompass a refresher that we do annually on tax credits and bond finance, as well as some governance items. That would likely be a work session of one of the committees, but we would post it publicly so that if we have quorum, it's fantastic. If you have a conflict with that date, please separately reach out to me or Debbie and let us know. It's a Thursday, so we're hoping it's a date that you might be likely to have open. Let's go to the next slide. I heard some of you introducing yourselves at the beginning, but I am excited actually to introduce to you Kaylin Rubin, who has joined our team as of about 2.5 weeks ago as our housing policy and communications specialist, working with Jim Ward, and just already making a huge difference in the work we're doing. So very excited. Where are you, Kaylin?
Hi, everyone.
Excellent.
Welcome.
Yes.
It's nice to meet you all.
And next, also Monday, we will have our final staff member joining the team. So you will meet her next month. You have in front of you a near final version of the annual report. We're still wrestling some final details, but that should be complete soon, and we will certainly share it with you and ask you to amplify it and spread it far and wide. Wanted to give a quick update on Rosemont Tenant Investment Program. As of the end of February, El Buen Samaritano had served, I believe, right around 90 households at $460,000 or so. So not quite a quarter of the funds, because some of those households have not necessarily received all their funds yet. They're receiving it over time. So it's moving along apace, and we'll just continue to update you as that advances. We are, of course, watching the legislative session very closely. You also have a handout in front of you with some summary of our legislative activity. It has a link in it to a tracker that staff have developed. You will, during the course of this meeting, receive this document in your email so that you can access that link live.
Pardon me, is that a different link than the ledge link that you can do per bill? This is our own in-house link? Okay.
Yes. When we drafted this, I believe here it says that, unless we changed it late this morning, that we didn't have any scheduled hearings. And we maybe don't have the we don't have the confirmation yet, but we do understand that there may be a hearing on Tuesday of House Bill 21, which is the most impactful of the pieces of legislation that have been proposed thus far. So we'll be assuming that does occur. We will be at the Capitol on Tuesday and continue to work with our partners. I wanted to note that Cambridge Villas is on the market for sale. You may recall that our partner in that project had the authority to ask for that the property be marketed, and they have done so. So it is on the market currently. And then a couple of other items that I think I updated, but maybe we didn't pull from the most recent version. I apologize. That we're a little behind, but you can expect to see posted to Forum in the coming days the strategic outlook, and then the plan is that the newly constituted Finance and Administration Committee will take up the Executive Director evaluation. I don't think I have any other updates there. We are free to move on to the rest of the agenda unless board members have questions.
Any questions from directors on our executive director's update? Hearing none, we can proceed on to the consent agenda. So we have on the consent agenda 4 items, which we will vote on at one point. All of these items have been previously considered and are posted and should present no particular issues for directors other than to vote on them. If hearing that there's no objections to the consent agenda, do I have a motion to adopt it? Ms. Prince, Director Prince, and a second from Director Becker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Director Ashley, I'm not sure we can hear. Kevin, do we have a response from our second Vice President, Director Ashley?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Greetings, Director. Okay,
Evening. Yes, aye.
wonderful. We have a unanimous vote then. And moving on to our action agenda, item 5, resolution number SHFC 2025-9. And I defer to our executive director for any comments she'd like to have our directors consider as we.
Yes, I'd like to invite our Director of Real Estate to walk us through these slides. So, and Kevin, if you can proceed to slide 20. We'll go to slide 20, please, Kevin.
Right. Good morning. I'm going to walk y'all through the action item we're asking y'all to take today related to our Silver Springs existing partnership. I'm going to go through a little bit first on just the background of our Silver Springs partnership, talk through the action that we're recommending today as staff, and then I have, just because there's some particular financing pieces to this, I do have a third slide that's going to walk y'all through kind of summarizing the different sort of economic impacts and expectations we have for the project. So just know Okay. But to get started on Silver Springs, as a reminder, this is an existing partnership that dates back to 2013. We did both Silver Springs and Forest Park at the same time with Delphi Affordable Housing, was our development partner on that. Both deals were done as 4% acquisition rehab deals. So they're both built in the mid-90s, but we came into the partnership in ownership structure with them in 2013. Y'all might recall that last year, actually a whole year ago, in March 2024, you voted to approve the marketing of our development partners' interests in Silver Springs and Forest Park. Delphi was successful in moving forward, and we closed on the Forest Park restructuring in December. This is a very similar transaction overall in that he's selling the partnership interests, and we're restructuring the partnership, this time on Silver Springs. We had hoped that both deals would close on a similar time frame. However, Silver Springs is a much larger deal at 360 units versus Forest Park at 228, and was struggling some with occupancy levels at the end of last year that made it difficult for acquiring new financing on the deal. Ultimately, the pathway forward has been to assume for the new partner to assume the existing HUD mortgage that's on the property. That has required renegotiating a little bit kind of how the deal is structured. Let's see. So, and I guess I should mention, sorry, OTH Capital is the name of the new partner that's looking at acquiring the partnership interests. Everybody is very interested in getting this deal done. Like I said, the idea was to close last year. At this point, it's kind of been dragging out a bit. A lot of that, again, is just kind of due to what's going on in the market, occupancy levels. And so we want to get this closed. The purchase and sale agreement will expire at the end of this month. And so there's sort of a kind of hard deadline there to go ahead and get this done. In order to close on the deal, though, it does require some seller financing, which Delphi, our existing partner, is willing to do to get this closed. And I'll go into a little bit more detail on the next slide. Kevin, if you could advance one. So the action y'all are asked to vote on today is really the same that you've already voted on for Forest Park, in that you're voting to allow the restructuring of the existing partnership documents so that Delphi can exit and OTH Capital can come into the partnership, and we will amend some of the terms within the existing partnership documents. This will not negate the original MOU that was done with the Delphi that stated that Strategic would receive 40% of sales proceeds with any sale or refi involving Silver Springs. That is between us and Delphi, so that part is separate from us restructuring this and entering into new terms moving forward with OTH Capital. This will shift how we receive revenue for this deal within the partnership. I'll go into that on the next slide. And like I mentioned, the current purchase and sale agreement will expire at the end of the month. So we are a little bit under the gun timing-wise to get this deal closed. One of the pieces that's been slow moving that is probably not surprising to folks is HUD has to approve the assumption of the existing mortgage with the new partner coming in. HUD has not been very responsive of late for reasons I'm sure everybody can imagine. But they did hear from HUD earlier this week. I talked with OTH yesterday, and HUD said that they expect to be able to send out approval by the end of next week. And as soon as we would get that approval, we'd be able to move forward with closing, assuming that y'all vote to support the action that we're asking y'all to take today. Kevin, could you advance one slide, please? Okay. So here's a summary of our estimations on closing and partnership revenue. Again, there's kind of two pieces to look at from this, because on one side we are with Delphi receiving sales proceeds. So we were supposed to get 40% of sales proceeds up front. Because of the financing considerations, Delphi has agreed to a seller's note of just under $10 million. That note has a fixed interest rate of 5% and is interest only for the first 5 years, with the assumption that presumably within the first 5 years there should be an opportunity to refinance the deal. And the seller's note requires that any refinancing would require paying off the balance of the seller's note at that time. You'll see that in the assumption of that chart down below, that in year 5, there's a large payout of $3.8 million. That's assuming in year 5, there would be a refinancing and the seller's note would be paid off. We still expect at close that we would get about $5.4 million in sales proceeds, and then an additional $1.4 million roughly in our portion of the existing reserves and operating cash with the property. We would then expect to receive a portion of the annual interest payments, which we estimate would be about $185,000 per year. That is cash flow dependent, so obviously would depend a bit on the performance of the property. So those assumptions are baked in here. Those are the pieces of this that you're looking at that are directly related to the sales piece and the seller note. Separately, entering into the new partnership or the restructured partnership with OTH, we would be receiving annual lease payments of around $80,000 per year. That would have a 3% interest rate increase. That $80,000 number comes from, that represents about 20% of the calculated property tax exemption. And I will stop there and see if y'all have any questions.
Thank you so much for that presentation. So we start with directors, ask for clarification or any particular questions before we discuss the item thoroughly. Any questions for our real estate director?
I have a question.
Director Becker, you have the floor.
I'm sure you know this. If they do not have the cash flow to pay us what's in the contract, does it accrue and we charge interest on that?
Yes.
Excellent. Same thing for the lease
Yes, it does
Annual lease-
accrue as well.
with a 5%.
3% on the ground lease.
So if they don't pay it because they don't have enough cash flow,
Yep.
then any remaining is applied at 3%?
Yes, it's a 3% accrual.
Okay, that's very low. What was I gonna say? I am mostly curious. Delphi, have they been a great partner? And whenever we did the deal with them in 2013, did they get paid up on all of their fees, developer fees, contractor fees, all of the things?
Yeah, there's no outstanding developer fee on the deals.
So they're all paid up with us.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, those are my questions.
Okay. Any other directors want to ask for clarification or any questions before we go into debate on the resolution? Hearing none, do we have a motion for adoption of the resolution?
Make a motion, we adopt the resolution 2025-09.
And a second? Director Prince. Any particular debate at this time? All right, then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those,
Aye.
Thank you, Director Nelson. And all those, no, hearing no abstentions and no nays, it is passed unanimously. Thank you all for that business and thank you so much. Moving on our agenda to item 6, new and unfinished business. I don't recall anything that was pending or carrying over from prior meetings, so, and I do not, moving on then to item 7, I don't think we have cause for executive session today. And if that is so, then adjourn, hearing nothing from my fellow directors or staff. Meeting is adjourned.
Fastest record, meeting on record.
Which is, people are like having whiplash right now. Thank you all for coming.